Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Somspur here, and yes, after a lot of deliberation, whether I do it, whether I not do it, you can see the video here itself. So you already know what I decided, and yeah, I am back for season 5 of PSL, and this video is gonna be about my draft for this season. Now, unlike last season where I was really trying hard to actually win, this time it's gonna be just more of a fun season where I'll try out stuff that I don't usually try, and I'll see how I do with that. So going into this draft, the two mons that I really wanted to pair up were Mega Kangaskhan and Zygarde 50. Before I get into the draft analysis, let me talk a bit about the PSL itself. So it's a 24-man league right now. It was 28 people last time around, but since there were a lot of forfeits and a lot of inactive coaches, so we decided to cut down on the number of coaches this time. So it's 24, two divisions of 12 each, and since it's Gen 8 coming out now, and we all want a Sinnoh remake for Gen 8, like Sinnoh remake in Gen 8 itself, like after the main Gen 8 games, Sword and Shield. So we decided to name our two divisions Diamond and Pearl. Now, I am a part of Pearl division, so there are 12 coaches in my division, and I was number 11 in the draft order. So I got I've been wheel picked for the last two seasons. Then I was somewhere in the middle in season 2, and then I was towards the bottom at season 1 as well. So my luck regarding draft position in this league has not really been very good so far, and that trend kind of continues. But to be honest, I'd rather have had wheel than 11th spot. But it is what it is. So as I said, my plan revolved around Mega Kangaskhan and Zygarde, and when it came down to me, my first pick, so both Zygarde and Mega Kang were available to me at that time. So the coach after me in the draft order was Angel. Now the thing about Angel, what I've learned about him for the last 3 seasons of PSL is that he's the kind of coach who likes really fun teams, like fun, fast, offensive teams. I don't really see this guy. I never see this guy like taking on like really those balance, like bulky balance builds, sort of. You know what I mean? Like all his teams have so far been like fast, hyper offense. So I try to think like, okay, what suits him more? What is he more likely to take, Mega Kangaskhan or Zygarde 50? And I thought, well, the way he plays, I think Mega Kang is a better fit for him. So he's more likely to pick up Mega Kang round 1, right? So that was my thought process, and I indeed ended up picking Mega Kangaskhan, the round 1 mon. My first pick, my Mega Evolution, and my first pick of the season 5 of PSL. Now, the biggest selling point of Mega Kangaskhan is, of course, Parental Bond. His twice in the same turn basically turns Power Punch into a damaging Swords Dance, and a Swords Dance on that attack stat followed by any stab move, like basically a combination of a stab move, Sucker Punch, and a fighting type move that covers the entire game. That just covers the entire game. Maybe bulky psych types, bulky fairy types can give it a bit of a problem. To some extent, bulky steel types as well. But yeah, those can be circumvented because it has a huge move pool. It has an absolutely enormous move pool, and not just in terms of offense, but in defensively also. I think it has 105 HP with 100 in both defenses. Don't quote me on that one. Let me just check once because I have a habit of embarrassing myself on these vids. Let me see. So yeah, 105 HP was absolutely right about that, and 100 in each defense. So yeah, right about that as well. This thing also gets wish, and passing off wishes from base 105 stat, that's going to be really nice because more often than not, that's going to be 170, 180 points of HP passed each time. And if I'm investing max bucks, so that is around 210 points of HP that I'll be passing. Other than that, it also has good support move pool. Toxic Protect runs well on any mon. Other than that, stuff like Endeavor could be good in a crunch situation. I don't know what else is there. Let me see. It has a decent special move pool as well, but given how low its its special attack status, I am not really sure how often will I use that. And other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it. Hard hitting attacker, just breaks through walls. What it really struggles with is stuff like iron barbs, rough skin, rocky helmet, because since it attacks twice, it also takes those forms of chip damage twice in a turn. So basically it loses around 30% of health every turn. And with hazards up, with maybe a toxic on it, it gets worn down pretty easily. So that's something that we'll look to patch up throughout the remainder of the draft. But anyway, yeah, that's for Mayor Kangaskhan. As for my second pick, I want Zygarde 50. But unfortunately, this boy, Angel picked up Zygarde 50. Yeah. So I thought he wouldn't, because I thought it didn't fit him, but well, he of course thought differently, and he picked up Zygarde 50, and that really forced me into a tricky situation. So I wanted Zygarde 50 and Mega Kang because they break down each other's checks quite well. Like Zygarde's checks are like what? Bulky physically defensive mons and bulky grass types. Mega Kangaskhan usually breaks past both. Like, yeah, it may die in the process itself to Rocky Helmet chip and stuff like that, but it will weaken them to the point where they can't take on Zygarde anymore. Unfortunately, Zygarde is gone, and now I have to take up something else. And okay, yeah, before I reveal my next pick, there is something. Oh my god, this cell phone. Oh. But yeah, at this point, I don't know if you can even call it a Schwamps per video if the cell phone doesn't start blowing up while I'm recording one of these. So anyway, yeah. So for my next pick, yeah, there's something I need to tell you guys, and that is, so now the Sun and Moon meta has been going on for a few years now. Ultra Sun and Moon has been here for a year and a half. So at this point, the metagame is pretty stale, to put it very bluntly. So we try to freshen up our format each season by unbanning a few mons, as long as they don't like fuck up the balance of the metagame. So this season as well, we put a few mons up for unbanning, and we just don't unban them straight away. We take the opinions of all the coaches in the PSL for these unbans. So what we basically do is we basically put these mons up for polls. So like for tier changes or for unbannings, we have polls for each mons, so these polls are put forward by the playoff qualifiers from previous season, and all the coaches get to vote on it. So for my two picks, the two mons that I put forward was, the first one I was quite serious about, and that was Aegis Slash, but without King's Shield. Now, if anyone here has played XYOU, he or she will know that the biggest problem with Aegis Slash is King Shield. Now, because King Shield basically turns it into a mon with 300 plus defenses, 330 plus defenses, and 330 plus attack and special attack in one turn, in 2 turns practically, because you attack and then you get off King Shield and then you take the hit. So it's basically 2 turns. But anyway, yeah, the point is that it basically has 115 force stats and then 15 HP and 16 speed. But that doesn't even matter when you have such good stats spread across the board. So the biggest problem with King Shield Aegis Slash was those 50/50s. Like, if you have a mon with a super effective move on it, so let's say I don't know, something that hits it super. So let's say like a Flare Blitz user, like let's say Infernape. Yeah, I had Infernape last season. I had Crocodile last season. Yeah, knockoff. So something like a Crocodile or an Infernape is in on an Aegis Slash, and you want to kill it off with Flare Blitz or a knockoff, but you go for Flare Blitz, he goes for Aegis, your opponent goes for King Shield, and now not only do you get off any damage, not only do you not get off any damage on the Aegis Slash, but you also have your attack stat lowered by 2 stages. At that point, it can just wall you out indefinitely. The other problem with that is that, okay, so you can try to predict him. So you predict that he goes for the King Shield and you don't attack, instead you go for some other move. But what if he predicts you to do that and goes for the attack instead? So it basically came down to a 50-50 situation. It was basically a toss of a coin, whether your opponent would go for the King Shield or he would attack or do something else. So I realized that, okay, if I get rid of King Shield from Aegis Slash is still a good mon, it's still a decent mon. I honestly don't think that King Shield less Aegis Slash is even a tier 1 mon. It's tier 2 at best. A lot like Landros without Sheer Force, like Landros Incarnate without Sheer Force. It's not a tier 1 mon in my opinion, it's a tier 2 mon, and that's where it is now. But when it was unbanned, it was originally in tier 1. Anyway, it is what it is. So I put that up for poll, and it was a really controversial one. Some people were for it, some people were against it, and it was a really close poll. So out of 24 coaches, I think it went 13-12 out of 25 coaches. Yeah, 24 plus Silva was there as well. So there were like 25 votes, and it was 13-12 in favor of Aegislash getting unbanned. So it was that close. It was basically just one vote away from getting from remaining banned. So yeah, I have spoken a lot about Aegislash at this point, and you can guess it yourself. My first tier 1 pick is definitely my Aegislash Jayvardhan. What Aegislash has is fantastic typing, great offensive stats, 150 on both sides, good defensive stats, which means it can take one hit before attacking. But the fact that it doesn't have access to King Shield in our league means that it won't be able to get those defensive stats back once it has fired off an attack. Which is bad because that forces you to play it as a hit and run attacker. So it's a lot like a hit and run attacker. So a lot like Hoop Unbound in that way. Like you just bring it in, fire off an attack, get the fuck out of there. Or you can use it as setup sweeper. It has good setup options in Autotomize and Source Dance. So basically Autotomize, late game cleaner, or Source Dance, Shadow Sneak. So it has a fair bit of options that way. I am not a fan of defensive Aegislash in a format without King's Shield, because that thing is just taunt bait at that point. Because yeah, if you fire off an attack, you lose your defensive stats, and if you don't fire off an attack, like if you have 4 non-damaging moves, you're just taunt bait at that point. So I don't really like that set as much. I'll probably be using offensive most of the time. I'm not really sure if I'll ever get the matchup to bring a defensive one. Excuse me, yeah, it's quite late in the night. But anyway, yeah. So that's that for Aegislash. And in terms of its offense, yeah, it gets a fair bit of moves, like its stab moves, Shadow Ball, Shadow Claw, Iron Head, Flash Cannon, Gyro Ball. In terms of coverage, it doesn't have the best of coverage. Like Sacred Sword is good because it has the perfect neutral coverage with Shadow Claw and Shadow Ball. It has Night Slash, which is kind of decent as well. But it somehow gets Head Smash as well, and that's something that I'll try to use as this season goes along. In terms of its support move pool, I don't think it gets anything very noteworthy. It gets Destiny Bond, but with that speed star, I don't know if I'll ever be able to pull off Destiny Bond. In terms of offensive stuff, yeah, it has stuff like Pursuit, Aerial Ace. Yeah, okay, it has Metal Sound. Metal Sound, Shadow Ball. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. That's good. Other than that, what does it have? Magnetize, Laser Focus. Yeah, it's pretty standard. Yeah, nothing much there to talk about. So yeah, that's my second pick overall, Aegislash. So for my third pick, I decided to pair up a Mon with Aegislash that is typically known to be the best counter to Aegislash in standard. It was known to be the best Aegislash counter in standard OU play, and that's going to be Mandibuzz. Now there are two reasons I picked up Mandibuzz. One, Mandibuzz pairs up really well with Aegislash in terms of its typing. Like Aegislash has 4 weaknesses: Fire, Ground, what's the other 2? Ghost and Dark. And apart from Fire, Mandibuzz either resists or is immune to all of them. Similarly with Mandibuzz has 3 weaknesses, being Electric, Ice, Rock, and what's the other? Yeah, Fairy. And other than the Electric type, all 3 are resisted by Aegislash. So they have a fair amount of defensive synergy between them, which is really nice to have. And other than the fact that, yeah, Mandibuzz, yeah, it's just defensive nightmare to deal with if you don't have the right prep for it. Like, if you look at his stats, his stats are way better than they deserve to be. Like, come on, 110 HP, 105 defense. What the fuck? Like, what makes a Vulture this bulky? I will never understand that. But yeah, you made it bulky, and I'm going to abuse it. I mean, I picked it up in season 1 as well, but at that time I couldn't really fit it on my team. But this time I think I'll do better with it, especially since it has such a nice synergy with Aegislash, which is one of the key members of my team. And in terms of its move pool, it has a really nice move pool. Like the standard dark type attacks, knockoff. Does it have Pursuit though? Or am I tripping? Does it have Pursuit? Okay, so it doesn't have pursuit, I guess. Okay, that's unfortunate. But anyway, yeah, it does have knockoff, which is always good to have. Brave Bird, yeah, nice. Foul play. Foul play is the main one on this because most physical attackers try to muscle past it using stuff like Sword Dance, Dragon Dance. Yeah, basically a boosting move, and then foul play just bobs them right on spot. And it has roost, so great reliable recovery there. It has nasty plot for some reason. I don't know if I can ever bring nasty plot Mandibus, but I'll try to bring it once this season. Other than that, it has stuff like my goodness, am I sleepy? It has stuff like, oh yeah, it has U-turn. That's a pretty big one. It has snarl, so it could help in dealing with special attackers, I guess. I'm not really sure about that. Don't try to do that. Another big thing is there's a defogger. This is my first defogger on the team. And as I said, Mega Kangaskhan doesn't really like hazards upon its side, so hazard removal is going to be a key feature on this. So Mandibus is going to be good for that. So yeah, that is all about Mandibus. As you might be guessing right now, I'm not the biggest fan of Mandibus myself, but yeah, it pairs up quite well with Aegislash, so I decided why not, let's just give this a try. For my next pick, I have my other tier 1, and this is going to be my Shamek, Latios. Why I picked Latios, I have absolutely no clue. There, I said it. I have absolutely no clue why I picked Latios. Well, to be honest, yeah, I'm kidding. The reason I picked Latios is a fast attacker, great speed tier, a lot of power behind it with 130 special attack, and again a huge move pool. So I can bring a variety of things on this. I can bring it as a special attacker, like Scarf or Specs. I can bring it. Oh my god. I'm barely like 10 minutes into the vid and I've already like yawned 3 or 4 times. Yeah, this is going to be a long one. So anyway, yeah, as I was telling, so it's a good Scarfer, it's a good Spexmon. Carmine is really good. And what else? Draco, Dragon Pulse, and yeah, in terms of his offensive move pool, that is pretty big. Ice Beam, it has Bolt Beam coverage, doesn't have Fire type coverage unfortunately, which I would have loved on this. Does get Grass type coverage with Energy Ball and Grass Knot. What else does it have? It has Surf, could be key. Has Shadow Ball, really nice. It has dual screens. Yeah, it has dual screens, so can be used in that manner as well. Has Roost, reliable recovery, Defog, the other Defogger on my team. Can be used in a physical set as well with stuff like Dragon Dance. What else? It's a good trick user because Latios usually forces some very what should I say? It usually forces some defensive counterplay on the opponent's part. So if I can predict that coming in, and I have a choice Scarf Specs, so if I trick it onto them, they basically get shut down for the entire match at that point. So that's that. Could also be a good support mount with Tailwind, I guess. But yeah, that's that. For Latios, good attacker. Basically gives me some more offensive power alongside Aegislash and Mega Kangaskhan. Now for my 5th pick, I wanted another steel type, and that is because my Aegislash is going to be an offensive mon for most of the time. And so I picked up Magneton of all things. Now what Magneton does is has a good defensive typing in Steel Electric. It has a big weakness with Earthquake. Oh my god. Wait, yeah, let me just have a drink of water. Yeah, I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. So yeah, we were talking about Magneton. Yeah. So the thing about Magneton is, so Magneton's biggest selling point is nothing new at this point. It has Magnet Pull to help to trap steel types. Trapping steel types could be good for all 3 of my, for both of my tier 1 picks as well as my Mega, because none of them really deal with steel types very well. So that's somewhere it helps out. It has a decent speed tier in 70. Good special attack stat 120. Decent bulk, but of course that bulk is augmented by what's it called? What's that thing called? Eviolite. Yeah. So the bulk gets augmented by Eviolite. So be a base defense of 95 becomes quite high, similar with the base Speed up of 70, but yeah, that base HP of 50, that really lets it down. But anyway, yeah, it is what it is. So Magaton is my other steel type alongside Aegislash. Hopefully it will take on the fairy types better, because right now my team is kind of shaky against fairies. So that's something I might have to patch up in the future. But anyway, in terms of team support, I think Magaton does it quite well here. Has a decent move pool. Again, it has dual screens. Might use it. Does it have dual screens, or does it have just reflect? No, it has light screen as well. So holy shit. Yeah. So that's nice. Flash cannon, thunderbolt. Decent step coverage, nothing great, nothing to write home about. Has hidden powers to make up for that. Signal beam is okay as well. It's a slow volt switch user in most cases, which can be good for bringing in stuff like Lati, stuff like Mega Kang, stuff like my Aegislash as well, since it doesn't title like to take hits when being run offensively. And yeah, that's that for Mag. So the next mon that I picked up after Mag was going to be the other mon on my team that is both Bolt Beam, and that is going to be my Mamoswine. Now again, the reason behind Mamoswine is quite simple. Offensively, it just straight up annihilates most steel types. Like, steel types don't stand a chance against this thing. Like, even if you're a Ferrothorn or a Scizor, yeah, Mega Scizor usually takes its hit, but regular Scizor, you don't take earthquakes from this thing. Like, earthquake still does around 50% to you, unless you're like max bulk. But even then, Choice Band 2-hit KOs that thing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Choice Band Mamo 2-hit KOs a Ferrothorn. Any variety of Ferrothorn. But anyway, yeah, it is what it is. Mamo, big hitter. Fairly bulky as well. My first Stealth Rock setter in the team, which is going to be really crucial because my team is going to really enjoy the. Holy shit, am I sleepy? God. My team is really going to enjoy the chip damage from Stealth Rocks because of the number of switches that stuff like Mega Kang, stuff like AG, stuff like Latios they force. Even Mandy as well, because when Mandy gets in on something, that something usually doesn't have a counterplay for Mandy. So that offensive mod has to switch out, and that racks up some more Stealth Rocks damage as well. So anyway, yeah, just a big strong hitter, another wall breaker on the team, my first Stealth Rock setter, and excellent coverage in Earthquake, Icicle Crash, and Ice Shard. I think only the Rotoms are sort of a problem for that. But yeah, even they don't like switching in on stuff like superpower, stuff like what's it called, Stone Edge, or I'm missing something, knockoff from this thing. Yeah, no, it gets knockoff as well, which is quite nice. So that's that. Yeah, so that is pretty much it for the what's it called, for the Mamoswine. So that's that. And the next mon on my team is going to be, as I said, my team really enjoys chip damage from entry hazards, like getting chip damage off on the opponent through entry hazards. And another mon that's going to help me accomplish that is going to be the Excelgor, one of the most reliable spikes and T-spikes setter in the game because of how high its speed stat is. So more often than not, if you lead with Excelgor, it is going to get off Stealth Rocks. It's not Stealth Rocks, spikes and T-spikes. So that's that with this. It also has a decent move pool. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm just going to upload this and I'm going to go off to sleep. So it has a good move pool as well. A good stab and bug buzz, stuff like I'm pretty sure it learns Giga Drain. Yeah, I think it learned Giga Drain. Yeah, it learns Giga Drain. So bug buzz, Giga Drain, it learns Focus Blast, has Final Gambit as an emergency, what should I say, a default stop. It also has recover. I don't know why I ever used recover on this thing. But yeah, it's basically going to be a fast attacker and hazard setter on my team. I typically don't have a good track record of using dedicated hazard setters, but as I said, this season it's not really about winning as much as it is about trying new things, and that is something that I'll try with this Excelgor. So that's that for this. And as far as my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So my eighth pick, I wanted something to add a bit more bulk to my team because, as I said, some of my mons have a tendency to get chipped down very quickly. So a bit of health support for them won't be bad, and that health support will be provided by my Vaporeon, Sindhu. Now Vaporeon, bulky motherfucker, my first water type on this team, which is quite crucial as well because I don't have the best of fire resist at this moment. Like Latios is my only fire resist, and that is not good. So Vape is going to help me out in that regard as well. Vape also has Scald immunity, which is going to be key for stuff like the Mamo, the Mega Kang, the AG. And yeah, passes a really fat wishes because of his 130 base HP stat. But yeah, one thing about Vaporeon that I do like is the fact that it's not passive by any sense of the word. It has a special attack stat of 110, so stab attacks from it are going to hurt. They won't hurt a lot, but they'll still get off consistent damage. So that's that. In terms of its move pool, it has quite a few options, stuff like the haze, yeah, toxic, everything gets. It has baton pass, which is quite nice. It has curse as well, which I never noticed all these days. Okay, that's nice, I guess. It has workup, so in case I would ever want to run a special attacking, like an offensive set, I could run that. And in terms of its support move pool, it has heal bell. So yeah, heal bell is going to be really crucial for my team because it's stuff like what's it called, the Kang, the Mamo, the AG, they get burnt, I can heal them back, or if they get toxic, I can still get rid of the toxic. Only problem with Vaporeon is how much of taunt bait it is, so I'll have to be really careful about my opponent's taunt users. That's something that I'll have to take care of during the matches, but yeah, other than that, I think this is a mon that's going to really support my team very well. So for the next member of my team, I wanted a fire type, and a fire type that has a bit of special defense because I'm still not sure about my team's. Yeah, my team is kind of shaky on the specially defensive side, like apart from Vaporeon. The rest of my mons are really not that bulky on the special side, especially. So yeah, anyway, my next one is going to be my Magmortar. Magmortar like hits like a fucking truck. Last season I saw Aero use it, and Aero used it really well. It was definitely one of the most consistent performers on his team, and one thing I like about Magmortar is it is really good move pool. It's not enormous in loose sense of the word, but it's just sufficient enough to support it. Like between Fire Blast or Flamethrower, whichever stab you bring, Thunderbolt, Z Solar Beam, Earthquake, Z Belch, Z Focus Blast, Z Psychic, or just the non-Z versions of those moves. Like there's not a lot that can take on all of them at the same time, so that's huge for this thing. It also has stuff like Taunt, and it does have Taunt, right? Yeah, it has Taunt, I'm not tripping. It has Taunt, it has Will-O-Wisp, so a defensive set could work in theory. It also has Belly Drum. I will try to pull that off once this season. And yeah, so that's that about my Magmortar as well. Another wall breaker on this team. So yeah, that's something that is really appreciated here. So for my next, so if you've been observing my team carefully by now, you will be noticing that I still do not have a fairy. And so for my fairy type, I decided to pick up, oh shoot, I messed up. So anyway, yeah, the fairy comes later. I decided to pick up something else here, and that's my fighting type, and that is going to be my Chhatrak, Breloom. Now there's a crazy part here because I didn't really want to pick up Breloom. My initial choice for my fighting type was going to be Holucha, but Lucha got sniped from me. Like just 2 picks before I was about to pick it, it got sniped. So that was bad. And then I thought I'd pick up Hitmonlee. And then Hitmonlee got sniped as well. And then I thought I'd pick up Blaziken, and Blaziken got sniped as well. So I'm like, oh well, nothing you can do about that, I guess. So I picked up Breloom instead. Also gives me a grass type, which I was lacking so far. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Breloom. I have used it in the past, but it was on a build that suited it better. I'm not really sure if this build really suits this as well, because yeah, Anyway, yeah, we'll see how it goes with Breloom. But yeah, talking about Breloom, Breloom is Breloom is like the perfect example of how far a mon can be carried by its combination of move pool and ability. Because in terms of stats, it got shit on. Like apart from the 130 attack stat and the somewhat decent 70 speed, I guess it has a defense of 80 as well. But that doesn't matter when your HP stat is just 60. It just got shat on. But the thing is, its move pool and its ability that synergizes so well. Like if you look at its abilities, it is the only other fully evolved mon to get poison heal other than Gliscor. Yeah, I can't think of any other fully evolved mons that have poison heal. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, write it down in the comment section and let me know how wrong I am. But the bigger one is Technician, because Technician Mark Punch from this thing hits like a bitch. With stuff like Swords Dance plus 2 Life Orb boosted Life Orb and Technician boosted Mark Punch can just clean up teams on its own. Bullet Punch also becomes a move with a minimum damage of 75 because of the boost from Technician. It's also one of the most reliable users of Spore, because it will force switches more often than not. Let's be honest about it. And getting something put to sleep can really open up the door for one of my other offensive mons in the team. Now, other than that, if you look at its move pool, it has stuff like Leech Seed, Stun Spore. It does have access to Focus Punch, which I've seen being used quite a lot on like lead sets, like as like Sash or like subsets with Poison Heal. So it has quite a few options in that regards. It has stuff like Rock Tomb, which could be good because in conjunction with Technician, it becomes base 90 and it has a chance to lower my opponent's speed. So that's something that could be useful. It has low sweep, which I wish was base 60 in power, because then it would have been really nice for me. Other than that, yeah, it also has bulk up, drain punch. I don't know if I'll ever be able to use that because of how low its special defense stat is, but yeah, it's still an option, which is always nice to have. It does have Iron Tail. Again, I don't know how much will I use that. Same with Thunder Punch and Synthesis. Yeah, so it's a decent mod. It's a good priority user. It's a good sleep inducer. But other than that, I'm not really sure. I'm not too sold on this Breloom on my team. And finally, for my fairy, I have decided to pick up. I had to pick up a low tier fairy at this point because I didn't have the points for a higher tier fairy. So my options were like Aromatease, Comfy, Granbull was gone. What else? Wigglytuff. Yeah, so yeah, Diancie as well was there. Yeah, Diancie. But in the end, I picked up Comfy because Diancie was my other choice, other big choice for this. But I went for Comfy because I actually want my fairy type to be able to resist fighting. Because looking at my team, my fighting resists are kind of shaky because Aegislash can switch into a fighting type move, but then the subsequent knockoff just bops it. Same with Latios, and Axelgor is not a switch into anything. So Comfy will have to take a lot of those heavy fighting type hits. Yeah. So, but the biggest selling point with it is, of course, the Triage boosted what's it called? Draining Kiss, which has +3 priority. So it basically becomes a priority sweeper as well with Calm Mind, which is something that I will try to use at least once this season. Other than that, really good move pool with really good support move pool with stuff like Leech Seed, Aromatherapy. What does Floral Healing do? Oh, never mind. Not for use in singles. So anyway, yeah, it has stuff like that. It has Amnesia. I'm not really sure why I'll use Amnesia over Calm Mind ever. Yeah, but its offensive move pool is kind of thin, which is something I don't like about it. However, it does have U-turn, so I could use that, I guess. Other than that, yeah. Oh, it's also another defog user, which is quite handy to have. So yeah, it also gets Tailwind, helpful. Also gets Trick. May use it once or twice. I don't know. But yeah, judging from the tone of my voice, you might be able to understand that I'm not too keen on this draft. And that's because I just got sniped way more times than I had planned for. So this draft ended up looking completely different from what I'd originally planned. But it is what it is. You get these things in draft format. You just have to deal with this. And so that's what my team looks like. So these are my 11 mons that I'll be bringing this season. I will definitely make some trades and transactions as we go along to make the team into something that I'm more comfortable with. But yeah, for timing, this is my team. And after picking these 11 mons, we had to what's it called? We had to choose our Z users, which I decided that Aegislash and Magmortar are going to be the best candidates for it, because yeah, as I was explaining about Magmortar, I think I kept mentioning Z moves every other word. So yeah, you already know that I'm quite fond of Z Magmortar, because Z Magmortar can usually just blow past its common checks in bulky water types, bulky fire types, bulky dragons. It can just blow past them. And Z Aegislash, because yeah, why not? I've never used Aegislash before. No one in this league has used Aegislash without King Shield in draft format before. Yeah, if I'm going in with this thing, let's just go all in. Why not? So I put Z on Aegislash. If this doesn't work, I always have Latias to put Z on. But yeah, it is what it is for the time being. This is what my team looks like. So if you like this video, please leave a like, share and subscribe. And if you have something to say about my team, leave it down in the comments. So yeah, we will see you again in some time with week 1 of the PSL season 5. So I'm your coach of the Bangalore Banettes, Spur, and I'm out. Peace.